Hello, and welcome to our video. My name is Tina from Quantum Healing with Tina. I'm a BQH practitioner, an intuitive empath, and a spirit releasement therapist. And today we're going to talk about what hypnosis feels like, what it is and what it is not. And we'll get Karen's opinion because she's kind of been my practice buddy through all of this.
Yes.
So what we do in BQH is we use aspects of hypnosis to get you into a deeply relaxed state of being where we can tap into the subconscious mind by bypassing the conscious thinking mind. What it is not, it's not mind control. It's not like I'm not going to make you cluck like a chicken or insert suggestions into your mind to be activated at a future time. And you can open your eyes at any time and come out. But really, it's just like being guided through a meditation or visualization and getting your brain waves into what we call the Theta State. And in the Theta State, we experience twice a day, right before we fall asleep and right as we're waking up. So it's something that we do naturally every day. And that's my part in guiding you to getting there. And in that state, we can access the subconscious mind where all the answers lie. 95% of our day, we go through our day using our subconscious mind and not even realizing it. So we're just tapping into that part of ourselves. And we're going to ask Karen what it actually feels like to be under hypnosis or in that deep state of relaxation, in the theta brainwave state.
Yeah, it definitely feels like right before you fall asleep. That's for sure. That's because usually after a session anyway, like I feel like I've just woken up from a nap. Mm-hmm. So that's when I know that I'm really deep in it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, when I compare like first time to later, it has changed a lot because like, you know, of course, like in the first time, you don't know what to expect. So, you know, like I'm used to the guided meditation type things. So that's why I was able to, you know, get into it very easily. But then when it comes to the point where it's my turn to speak, yeah, that's where, you know, the conscious mind comes up and it's like, okay, let's see what are you going to see? Like, what are you going to make up? What if nothing shows up?
Right.
So of course you know, you're analyzing things or having a conversation with yourself inside. But, you know, like it was really important when you had told me to trust everything that I had seen or what I feel. And when I was in it, I saw all black. So, you know, I think people are thinking that maybe you're supposed to see things like a picture, a movie. Sometimes they do show up like that for me. But it takes practice. Like once you're in it, when you finally get comfortable and in it and just trusting that, you know, you can use all your senses, that's really important as well. That like for me to just feel it out. And so the first scene that I saw, like in my first one was a castle. And like I was saying, I don't usually think about castles. So I know like, you know, like you think like, are you making that up? Partially, maybe you are. But, you know, it's not like I consciously decided that I'm going to see a castle or feel a castle. And, you know, like I knew that I was in a castle. So I really was trusting that feeling of knowing I was there. And then I find like, you know, subsequent to that, like knowingness that you can actually start to pull in images that are coming. That's why I was able to see the long corridor of the castle, see the Tin Man that was there. You know, everything came as I was like slowly like easing into it and trusting all my senses. So sometimes, like I said, it's not clear. Sometimes it's black. And at that point, I feel like it's really important not to panic, you know, because like you really want to perform. You don't want to have that kind of anxiety in the way as well. Because you're like, okay, it's quiet. Like this is a waste of time. Like, no, just sit into that darkness and navigate your way through all the senses and just feel it out and things will come to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the impressions can be so subtle, right? Like it's not like bang, like, wow, right in front of your face, like going like a movie screen. Like you can hear a
Right.
word in your mind or have a feeling that you're somewhere, or a deep knowingness of where you are, or yeah, those kinds of little things. And you really just got to say, let it come out of your mouth, the first thing that you're feeling. Because if we don't do that, then the conscious mind gets engaged because it's starting to think, right? It wants to think and judge and analyze what's happening. But if we could just allow the very first impression that pops into your mind, whether it's a feeling, a word, a sentence, a visual, maybe,
Yes.
then, you know, it's that very first impression that is what we want. It's just kind of like trusting your gut and those very first feelings that you get, and trusting your gut. For me, my first session was very difficult because I had watched tons and tons of videos on YouTube, and you know, the videos that people post are usually their very best sessions, right? So you're seeing people who are totally fully connected, and they make it look so easy. And so you think, oh, this is just going to be so easy, right? But when I got in it, my conscious mind was engaged right away. And it was
it's like this.
Yeah. It was like, what are we doing here? This is not where we're supposed to be. What is happening? All of these things were coming up, and it was trying to figure out what was happening, right? And even though I was getting visuals, I was getting feelings and things, but it was that interference by the conscious mind that wasn't really allowing me to fully sink into the experience. And I struggled through the whole thing.
Because they're putting all that doubt. Because you're like, am I really seeing this? Should I be here?
Right, because I saw myself as Cleopatra, and I was like, no way. Like, I just totally made that up. Right? I totally just made that up. Yeah. So, yeah, it was totally instilling that doubt, and just the not trusting what was happening and what I was experiencing. And so it was very difficult. And I learned a lot from that session about the importance of trust, mostly in yourself and the impressions that you're getting, and allowing that to flow out freely, to tell your practitioner and allow that to flow. I also learned about trusting the practitioner too, and that they know what they're doing and how to guide you. That's super important.
That's so important.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Trust is the most important part, besides allowing yourself to really let go and allow the impressions and the experience to unfold. Like, you don't have to do anything. You just have to allow it to unfold without analyzing and judging it. Because that's difficult for some, like, a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is difficult.
Especially when they don't even realize. I think the only time that they'll actually realize that there is a companion coming with you is when they're in a situation like that, where they actually have to see, or whatever it is. I'm saying see, but like, feel and use everything to kind of get all the information that is supposed to show up for you without having that over analysis or whoever coming to make you doubt what you're feeling. It takes away from the experience.
It's hard for everyone, really, because we're so programmed to be left brain, right? Like, our logic is valued much more so than our intuition. Like, no one ever teaches us about intuition and how to trust ourselves. And so our conscious mind is really valued in our society, and it's not something that we're not used to engaging the right side of our brain and and developing that relationship with it. So when you go into a session like this, and that's really the most important part, and the purpose of the whole thing is to engage that part of the brain.
The most important part.
Yeah.
That is the part.
That is it,
You
right.
need that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
And so we're not used to trusting in that. So yeah, that first experience was really difficult for me. And it was even more difficult when the visual stopped and I was expected to trust in myself and what my higher self was telling me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, I guess I am my higher self, right? Because because you think, or people think, I thought that it was going to feel like something else.
Separate from you?
It was going to feel separate from me. But it's really not separate from you. It is you. It's just that you're tapped into that, the quantum field, that higher aspect of you. You're tapped into that, and that's where you're pulling the information from. And yeah, you might already know a lot of the information, but it will feel like it flows through you a lot more smoothly than it does in your regular waking conscious life, right? Is that how it feels to you?
Yeah. Like I remember like in the session, like when I was first in it, like at least hearing it, where I was able to, you hear like it sounds unsteady. And I find like my breathing, I'm like mumbling. I'm not still kind of doubting, but going with it. But then it's like when I was, I think it was the higher self, or I don't know who came forward, or my guide, that came forward. The voice changed completely.
Mm-hmm.
The energy changed, the voice changed. And it was nothing like the little, like, hunched over, like, okay, I think this is what I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's like full on, and it's like, yeah, completely different, two different experiences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny listening to your sessions because you can really hear that difference. Like when it's you yourself having that experience of the past life or whatever life you're experiencing, it's still you. You're still there with your conscious mind evolved, still kind of doubting what you're seeing. And then when the higher self or your guide kicks in, it's like a whole new Karen, like a whole new experience. And you're like super confident and totally tapped in and the information is flowing. Like,
or when you compare me to like when I went in and I was like a kid, when I was 3 years old.
Yeah,
it was a different personality too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, very childlike.
Very childlike. Yes, you were very like pleased with yourself, messing up your sister's room, and it's really amazing to see how the personality really changed. And even with like spirit attachments, like the earthbound spirits or whatever, and you can like when we did the surrogate session last night and you were the voice of that little puppy, like total change in demeanor and voice and everything. And do you remember?
I didn't rehear the sessions, but I mean, like, not really.
Yeah.
But it's just like, but I know, like, from hearing my other sessions, that I know that there is a difference in whoever comes up, whoever I'm channeling.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you are in that portion of it, channeling your higher self, really. And so instead of doubting the information that is coming through, you're just really trusting and letting it flow through you.
Because once you're in that trust, like that, once I'm in that, like I'm plugged in, I can get into a mode where I don't remember anything that happened.
Yeah. You go into like a somnambulistic state where you don't even remember what you said. That's how now in comparison to my last session where I was really able, because I had that experience the first time where I didn't trust any of it and I did struggle through it. Now the last time I was really able to allow myself to let go and allow the conscious mind to step to the side and really trust what was happening. And
Yes.
so,
And that one sounded completely different too.
yeah, it was different because I was really tapped in. I think it was my guide speaking through me. Um, yeah, and I just like, you think it's going to feel different from you. It doesn't feel different from you. It feels like you, just a really tapped in higher version of you who's super
There's no
confident, and
filter.
there's no filter,
Yeah.
and it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
The answers come easy. It flows out easily. And yeah, there's no filter of the doubt in your mind. That's not there anymore, you know.
Not at all.
You just know. And even um you sometimes will have like visuals or things that you see during that part. But for me, it's mostly just knowing. It's just a knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how it is for you?
It's a little bit of everything. It really depends if it's a session of my own versus, let's say, a surrogate.
Yeah.
There's a lot of variables to take into account on what I experience. The first session, like I was able to kind of see, and then when I went into that trust, I forgot. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I'll get random images, like they do show up like stills, like pictures.
Mm-hmm.
When I did a surrogate, it was very vivid. Like the beginning was vivid, like where I saw, like for Beverly's, where I saw the Ferris wheel, like the colors, and the casino, like that color popped for me. So I
Mm-hmm.
knew that was there. Um, for yours, like at the clubhouse, I decided that my conscious mind was going to come with me because I didn't want to miss anything. But then when I did Beverly's, I decided to do the opposite, where I completely retracted my conscious mind and allowed my body just to be the channel for, you know, her to come through.
Mm-hmm.
So in her case, I saw stills, but like very vivid stills, but not consistently. I guess
Mm-hmm.
when I needed, because sometimes I feel like when I need to, like an important message is to come through, sometimes they'll pop it up into my face, I guess, so that I can take a picture of it, so that I can interpret it the way that they want me to, the way that
Mm-hmm.
what I can, yeah, as best as I can. And then in other ways, like for yours, like when I did that surrogate, I was there the whole time because I didn't want to miss anything. I wanted to make sure that I saw everything, that I got it all, because I
Yeah.
wanted to give you like as much visuals as I could.
Yeah.
And then for other ones, like the one that I did um, the other day, I don't know. There's so many that we but like they don't, sometimes I don't get anything. Like I'll wake up out of it and you're like, do you remember? And I'm like, nope. Like when you say, like when you're at the end of your induction, sometimes there are trigger words that allow me, because I already trust you, right? So, and I already trust myself for me to go in. So I'm already extremely like relaxed that I let go. I surrender
Mm-hmm.
to what is going to come. And I just trust that whatever, like I'm just going to channel it, allow that voice to come through me and to use my body to express it. And then
Yeah.
I don't remember it. So there's different things. I mean, I can control it. I can control what I want to see. Like if I want to be present in it, my conscious mind, and I can also flip the switch and be like, let's go all in and let's hear it in the playback. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, wow, I didn't know, that's crazy. Like I don't remember that. Hearing myself talk or seeing myself in the video talk and watching it is really fascinating for me because I don't remember any of it.
Right.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
I find is really cool.
Yeah. This work is just really cool. It's just so fascinating, like to explore consciousness in this way.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I didn't even realize how many different ways there are, because I know you always ask me like, do you remember that? And I'm like, more than half the time I'm like, no. Or I'll get like a random, like, remembrance in whatever it is that happened in the session. And
Mm-hmm.
then I could kind of give insight in what I saw or what I felt or what I
Right.
heard, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I get them in different ways.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So Would you explain it kind of like a daydream, like a really detailed daydream?
Your surrogate session that I did for you was a very detailed daydream. But it's like, but even when I got out of it, like when you pulled me out and I, came back to my body, it still felt like a very distant thing. Like when you wake up after a dream, that you're like, you remember it, but you blink and it's gone.
Right.
It's kind of like that, where you're still kind of like, I know I saw it, but can I remember it fully, like from A to Z? No, it's not the same. So yeah, it's different every time, but yeah, I would say like more now that I have like a lot of experience in, especially with the surrogates, that I don't remember. And it is like a daydream, but none that which you can control. I mean, daydreaming for me is I can control what I want to see.
Right.
In this case, it's really, you're going in there like into a blank canvas, and it's creating in front of you, and you're just giving your impressions of it. That's all it is.
Right. Yeah, I think that's probably the closest thing to help people understand what it's like, is to say it's like a daydream, or even just a dream that you're kind of awake for, like,
yeah,
because
like lucid dreaming.
Yeah, like lucid dreaming. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
really. Yeah, and your higher self is never going to give you anything that you can't handle. You might be emotional. Like, I'm a crier. I cry all the time.
You're shocking to me too. I cry every session. I think I cried every session.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there will
every
be
session.
emotional things, even if it's just that, like in my last session, it was just feeling that oneness.
So connected.
And so connected and grateful to feel that way and to feel that freedom and connectedness. Yeah, it was so beautiful. And then there was a scene where my son had died, so I cried for that. It is emotional sometimes, so you have to be prepared for that. You're not just going in to like watch a movie and not be connected to it, but it is like watching a movie and you have emotions when you watch movies. That's the point, to evoke those emotions within you. So
but they'll never give you anything that you can't handle. I mean, you saw things that were painful because you could handle it.
Right.
But, your higher self will never just throw you in there and like, experience something horrific.
Right.
Yeah. They won't give it to you. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're always safe. I mean, you are the safest you will ever be when you're in a session, surrounded and protected by your teams and your angels and source. Like, you are the most safed. Safed. Safe.
I totally got that. And I'm like, oh, that's not a word.
Safe and protected. Yeah, because, and it's just like a really loving and open space for you to fall into and have these experiences. There's never any judgment or anything like that, and you will feel the most connected you've ever been. And I think that's what's so beautiful about it, is you really feel that connection with everything.
Yeah, I love this work so much too, because like, I mean, I spent like half, like maybe 30 years of my life daydreaming, being on the other dimensions, and for my own safety and like protection, like protecting myself from having to deal with real life. And then now that I've done a lot of the healing work, and I'm in a place where I'm so comfortable with myself and I love life now physically, but now it's like, this is the fun part, where we can actually use everything that I've developed in the last 3 decades to help other people. And it's something that, I could go back into, because it's like, I'm so passionate about daydreaming. Like, it's like my favorite thing to do. But yeah, to actually do it and benefit others for it. Like, I just love that. Like, what I used to see was not just somewhere that I could run to, but now realizing that it is some place that actually is real, like it exists. It's true. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that stuff.
And who would have ever thought that you would be using that skill to now help other people in that way? Like, did you ever think you would use your daydream?
Absolutely not. I think that
Right.
just clicked right now as I was saying it. Like, it
Right.
was just like, my God, like, I love it. Like, it was like my professional thing. Like, that's all I did. Like, I love to go out and daydream and create. And now it's like, instead of me being the actual painter, it's like I'm watching it unfold in front of me, and it's like guessing, like watching the image come forth, and I get to interpret it.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's really cool. It's a different way, but it's all the same. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really cool. Anything else we haven't said about hypnosis? You should try it. Really fun.
You should try it if you really want to know if you can do it. I mean, like, do guided meditations and do very basic ones, and try to do like visualization, like just lay down, or I don't know. You could like use your C-Star to Starship as a good practice. I think that's a really good practice for people who are beginning, at least for the visualization aspect of it, to see what comes up and how you interpret it. You know, there's not that much pressure in it, but at least when you're in it, you can explore yourself and get into it.
Right.
And to see like what more you could tap into.
Yeah, like a practice regression. I'm going to upload that to YouTube soon. Yes. So if anyone wants to like practice a regression on your own, which is a great way to engage the imagination and that side of your brain.
Yes, it's so fun.
To get it going. That's a great way. Anything creative that you do, whether it's drawing or painting or writing, anything you do creatively to engage that side of your brain is going to help you. And within a session, there's also like a set of videos called the Get Ready videos that I'll link down below that would be helpful for you to look over if you're going to have a session. And I'll upload that video. So anything else we forgot to say?
Well, unless other people just comment if they have any questions about it, please, ask. Like, we have all the answers.
Comment down below and like our video, subscribe to the channel for more updates soon.
Check out the videos and book a session. They're really they're so healing, and it's a great way to discover a different part of yourself outside of the physical world.
And even if it's not with me, find a practitioner that's right for you, because it really is a great way to experience yourself and to get to know yourself. So I recommend it for anyone who's looking to do that, to really heal those parts of yourself that you've been unable to heal or look at. It's a really great tool.
We've seen some really incredible results, so like it works. Yeah. Even for myself. I mean, like, I'm speaking for myself.
Right.
I haven't healed. I mean, like, I've healed so much since we've started these sessions together.
Yeah.
Every session has given me something.
Right.
Even if it wasn't for myself.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if it's just the understanding of why things are the way they are, like why certain things have happened in your life, or why you've had certain relationships, things like that. When you make those connections, sometimes that is healed instantaneously, So, thanks for joining us today, and we're sending you so much love and blessings and healing vibes. Hope to see you soon in the next video.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.